William was born 5 weeks premature, and they thought he was going to be a small baby, and he was born £9 11 ounce. So for 5 weeks premature, they thought that I'd had gestational diabetes in pregnancy, but I'd had the test and it was negative. So William was taken to NICU because he was having breathing difficulties. While we was at NICU, they did a blood sugar, and his blood sugar was 0.7. So they went ahead anyway and checked as though I'd had diabetes in pregnancy, thinking maybe the test had been wrong. So after a week on lots of IVs, William was deteriorating. So it was a very emotional time for us all. We didn't know what was going on. Nobody really at NICU knew whether he was going to come home or what the next step was. So they contacted the nearest children's hospital, which was Alder here in Liverpool, and we were transferred down there the early hours of the Monday morning, and William was treated as they suspected he had hyperinsulinism. As soon as we got there, the doctors were really reassuring. My head and his dad's head were all over the place. We didn't know what was going on, if William was going to still be alive. You know, all these thoughts were going through our head. So we spent a month in Alder here on IVs and trying medicines, which was a really tiring time because I have a 7-year-old as well, and they were having to drive to and from Liverpool, which was like an hour and a half's drive away. And plus I'd just given birth as well and hadn't even been home. So after the month, William was responding to a drug called diazoxide. It was on a higher dose than they'd given somebody of his age, but they were happy that he was responding. So we went home, and there was just me and a blood machine and a baby, which was terrifying, because for a month I'd been used to all these nurses around and doing everything for us, really. And I still didn't really understand what hyperinsulinism was. So I started doing a little bit of research, and as I researched, I became a bit more terrified of what could go wrong. William then, in March, stopped responding to diazoxide very quickly, which was a very scary time. He was having lows every hour, which I couldn't bring back up. So we went back in and we had the diazoxide up to even more, and he responded to it this time. But William has a diffuse pancreas, and he carries ABCC8 twice. Both me and Dad are carriers, which we didn't know about. Development-wise, William is behind. They said about 2-3 months, and they don't know what kind of brain damage will be done until he develops a bit further, really. So we manage every day. We do regular blood sugars, not just during the day, during the night, which is very exhausting, because William tends to go low at night, and he doesn't show any signs of having low blood sugars either, so it's just me testing routinely mother's instinct. And he's 10-month-old, and we're just happy that he's here. It's amazing to know there's treatments out there, because when you're in hospital and you get told, right, they're going to try diazoxide, you have all these things going through your head like, what if it doesn't work? You know, and the scary thing is that you hear they're going to have to try and remove the pancreas, but they can only remove so much percent of it, and then they could be turned diabetic or still have the hyperinsulinism. So all these things are going through your head, and then when you learn that there's new drugs, but we need funding and research towards them, then you know you start thinking, oh, there is a bit of a brighter future. Please support this campaign.